I remember asking my brother, because I bought pepper spray because I was going to college, and I was like, how do you use pepper spray? Because I had no idea. So I asked my brother.
I have some and I don't know how to use it, and I'm scared I'm going to use it on myself. Like,
yes.
The wind will go and it'll come back at you.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's why I said it's like funny that you mentioned that, because I remember asking how to use it, because I'm like, what if, because it has like a little thing that covers it, and I'm just like, what if like I accidentally spray it on me, or what if I get something on me, or like, how does that work? So I was always very curious about that stuff. And apparently you do have to know how to use it, because you can accidentally get yourself too. So I'm just like, okay. So
and
that
it
just
expires too, apparently.
So yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, pepper spray expires, guys.
Yeah, so yeah, like those are things that, I thought about too growing up. Like, okay, what do I do so that this doesn't happen to me? Because I'm going off to college, and it's up to me now that I'm not going to be with my mom and my siblings, like, to protect myself. So that's something that I did, because I thought, okay, it was up to me to protect myself.
Yeah, definitely growing up, I think the main thing that I was told was, my mom would always tell us, like, bad things happen to people that stay out late. So it was that idea that if something happened, it was maybe because it was probably their fault for staying out too late. And then when I got into college, that's when I started, not even, like, I think also high school, we had like these videos of like people putting like things in people's drinks, which is why you should watch your drinks. And then when I got to college, it was very much like the pepper spray, the buddy system, the don't leave your drink unattended, don't go to a party like by yourself. All these things telling us like what we should do to stay protected.
Which we talk now that true prevention is teaching people not to hurt others, teaching people not to sexually assault. It's just stuff that, coming into this field, I never really thought about it. And it could be that maybe we do know these messages, but if something does happen, that internalizing of those messages that we heard when we were younger can still be there, and can truly feel like, hey, this is my fault.
And feeling like, no, a part of it is my fault, is the myth that it's a fight or flight response, right? Like, at least for me, I know I learned about that in my biology class, right? In college, we talked about that in school. So our survival responses are fight or flight. No, we're missing a huge other response that's freeze, that is valid, that happens automatically. And so maybe even we do know self-defense, or we have that pepper spray, or we have something on our keys to help us. But if we freeze, if that's our body's natural response to trauma, there is literally nothing we can do. Your body does not let you do anything. Yell, move, grab for something. And so I know when I have worked with survivors and we've talked about the freeze response, like, you could just see like the relief. You could just see like, oh, like the tension leaving their body. Like, really? Like, that's a thing? Like, this happens to other people? I just didn't in the moment freeze. Like, I didn't have a choice. It's like, your body didn't give you a choice.
There's also a fourth one too. A lot of people don't know, it's fawn.
Yes.
I hope I'm saying it right, but I think within the past 2 years, it's really been, they've really been studying it. So it's basically when someone's being under attack or something happens, a traumatic event, and you feel like in order to survive, you have to go along with it. Yes. Whether that's, let's say someone is sexually assaulting you and you feel like I should just flirt back, maybe it'll be less intense, less harmful if I do that. And that's what people believe will help them be safer and not increase like the hostility of the attacker. And a lot of people have done that, and they feel like, whoa, people are gonna think that I wanted it because I did that. But really, that's another form of survival response that a lot of people don't know about.
To try to make sure they get out of that situation alive, right?
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of it's a lot of not having that information that makes people think like, oh, you didn't do enough.
Or you let it happen to you, like you were flirting back, and then not knowing that they were doing that because they thought that's what they had to do in order to survive.
Yeah.
And maybe it was what they had to do at the time.
And at the end of the day, maybe they were flirting, but that doesn't matter, right? If that person at the end of the day still sexually abused them, the flirting shouldn't have to matter, right? It's something that I know for us, we start to try to probably pay attention to be like, oh, well, I noticed they were having such a good time, so now she's saying, or now he's saying that this happened. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the situation was before. That act still occurred.
Yeah, flirting doesn't give consent, right? Like,
we got as when we were younger, but in reality, no matter what someone did, it is never your fault, right? So we always get these messages of, what did you do wrong? What were you wearing? What were you this? We hear that in all these famous cases and, just pretty much mainstream social media. But it's like we're never taught those messages of why, like growing up, how not to hurt someone or not. Yeah, I know a big thing in our movement is teaching people not to rape instead of teaching people how not to get raped.
And it's like how you said how we internalize that for ourselves, but we also internalize it to use it against others. Like we also say like, oh, I wasn't watching my drink, but also when things happen to other people, we say they weren't watching their drinks, they weren't doing that. So not only are you doing it on yourself, but you also start to do it on others. And then you teach that to like younger generations, and it's just passed on. And then of course we talk about rape culture a lot and how that normalizes rape culture in our society.
Yeah.
So if you do find yourself needing support, if you are local to the Houston, Southeast Harris County area, we at the Bridge, we're here, we have support groups, we have individual therapy, we have a crisis hotline, a 24-hour line. But there are agencies like ours all over the country, in most cities across the country. So reach out if you ever want support. There's people there. There are advocates there who you can talk to.
Yeah, and if you ever have any specific questions, like we said in the beginning, drop them below on the comments. Like we'll love to have these conversations with y'all. Like maybe have some more interaction. Like answer maybe if it's just one specific question. If you want to be anonymous, totally fine. Like we just want to make sure that we're here for you. We know that we talk very much in general, and there's very much. Every case is its own case and it's specific. So when we're talking about this, we're being general, right? So we know that every case is different too. So maybe some of the stuff that we talked about now, you might feel like, well, that wasn't really for me, right? We do have that understanding that everything's specific. So if you ever have a question, please just drop it down so we have something to talk about and we know that we're giving you the information that you want.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.
Bye.